With the recent release of Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell, we're going to rank all 6 Tremors films from worst to best. Before we get into this video, make sure to leave your ranking down below. How would you rank all 6 Tremors films? This all has the one same character throughout all of the one, even though there was one prequel. Has the same guy in every single movie. Some are enjoyable, some are really bad. So let's get this list started with number 6, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. The 4th Tremors movie is a prequel to the first Tremors movie, and this was painfully boring. I was curious to see how people a long time ago would handle the graboids, but it was just a lot of setup for the graboids, getting people to the small town, explaining to them what graboids are, and you don't really get to see a lot of them. So this movie is just painfully boring. There's not a lot of things going on in the movie. It's not exciting. It's just a really boring prequel that had potential to be really cool and different from the previous 3, but it wasn't. Coming at number 5 is Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell. This movie tried to be different than the previous Tremors movies, with it being in a cold area in Canada, but nothing about this movie felt different at all from all of the other Tremors movies. It felt like the same exact thing over again, and they didn't even really try to make it seem like it was in a cold atmosphere. It seemed like it was still in a warm area like they were in the previous movies. So nothing new about this movie. Nothing about it was exciting. It was just the same old thing. I wish I would have seen something different with this movie, a different route. Take it to space, take it to the hood, take it to Manhattan, somewhere different than just the regular scenery that they always are in. Even though it takes place in a different location than the previous 5 movies, it still feels like it took place in the same location. Coming in at number 4 is Tremors 5, Bloodlines. This introduces a new character, Jamie Kennedy, who plays the son of our main character. Now, this movie is ridiculous at times, trying to sell the point of a reality television show with hunting graboids, and how his son was trying to have his dad get more fame for what he's doing because he is the famous graboid hunter. So some moments are a little corny with Jamie Kennedy. I like Jamie Kennedy only in like one movie, Malibu's Most Wanted, years ago. But he doesn't add any charisma to this movie. He has some pop culture jokes that he tries to attempt, but when it comes down to it, same location for the 5th movie as all the other ones, and some moments were really corny. Coming in at number 3 is Tremors 3. This movie just felt like a repeat of the previous 2 movies. Coming in at number 3 is Tremors 3. This is the one where they introduced the ass blasters. The first one had the graboids, then we had the shriekers. Now we have the ass blasters, which are something very interesting. So the 3rd movie, it feels a little repetitive for the first 2 movies. Nothing different about this movie. It feels like it's the same exact thing happening over and over again. People are scared of these monsters, and a couple people tag along and they try to save the day. Nothing interesting really happens in this movie besides the fact that they have monsters and they call them ass blasters. That's something interesting. Coming in at number 2 is Tremors 2, Aftershock. This was a fun movie, very enjoyable. Once again, it has the same thing as the first movie. It's nothing new compared to the first movie. I've already seen this movie done before, but our main character does have a lot of energy in here. You can tell he really knows a lot about graboids. So it definitely makes it for a fun time because he knows what he's doing, and it's interesting to see people that don't know what they're doing and how he can kind of steer them in the right direction. It still has its comedy in place. It still has its ridiculous moments in place of trying to be quiet when it comes to the graboids and trying to walk around and make noise in certain areas. It still has its humor intact, which I did appreciate. And the best Tremors movie is Tremors 1. This is an enjoyable film. I actually really enjoy this movie. It's ridiculous. It's funny. Kevin Bacon gives an all-out performance. Just everything about this movie is comedic gold. And a big monster film that works so well. You're wondering about the graboids, how they got there. You know, they're dangerous to the civilians, and the characters add a lot of energy to the role. Funny, they like to blow things up. It's just a big, dumb movie that I enjoy. Sad though that the next coming movies do the same exact thing, but they cannot recreate the charm that the first one had. I thought it was a very enjoyable film, really funny, a big dumb monster movie, and that's what I wanted for Tremors, and that's what I got. but I would like to see some things shift a little because it's the same thing over and over again. So what is your ranking for all 6 Tremors films? Leave it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these movies. And if you guys have seen the new one, I reviewed it. So if you guys want to check out the review, I'll put a link down below for that. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.